Here we go with episode 2 of Kaze Shinobu Trilogy. And this, of course, is Tiger Mask, The Star by Kaze Shinobu. I picked this bad boy up online directly from Japan. And I'm a huge Kaze fan, if you couldn't tell from the first video. I'm a huge wrestling fan, if you couldn't tell from the other videos I've done on wrestling comics. So this is a match made in heaven. I found out about this book from Japan Book Hunter, who has a YouTube channel, who is an unbelievable YouTuber who knows more about manga than probably most people do on YouTube. Maybe better than anyone on YouTube. But I found out about this from him, and I said, man, I gotta pick this up. I gotta pick this manga up. I gotta pick up this book. Volume 2, I know is difficult to get your hands on, so I don't have Volume 2, and I probably will never get Volume 2, but hey man, as long as I got Volume 1, I don't care. So I'm going to take the sleeve off this time, because last time I was having all kinds of issues with the sleeve, so I'm going to take this off, putting it in a safe place. Very interesting cover, just very simple. And here we go. Again, just like most manga, it's very difficult to open, so I will do my best. And we start out with some great eyeballs, because that's what Kaze Shinobu is known for. Those eyeballs, those close-up eyeballs. There are 2 panels in this book there are many great panels, but there are 2 panels in this book that may be my favorite panels in any comic book. And when we get to them, I will show them to you and I will point them out. Foreshortening. That hand is so much bigger than that deltoid. Kaze knew what he was doing. Great 3-point perspective. This guy knows what he's doing. He also draws great stadiums. So, this is one of my favorite panels in the book. I don't know what it is about this panel. I just absolutely love this panel. I love the arm muscles. Like, it just looks so cool. But it's not my favorite. I love this panel too. Just anybody who can draw a great figure, anybody who can draw a great net. I keep saying that over and over again, but it's true. So our guy has handcuffs behind his back. It's very obvious. You don't need to read Japanese to know that, and I don't read Japanese or can speak Japanese or even understand Japanese, but yeah. Love how it gives him kind of like a Frankensteiner. Whatever that move is. I love this panel. So this is one of my favorite panels in the book. Just that hunched over position with the muscles and the foreshortening. Just a great panel. Amazing panel. So maybe there are more than one. Or more than 2 panels that I love about this book. Guy looks like Kingpin. I wonder if he was reading Daredevil comics at the time. Perhaps. Who knows? He loves drawing those eyes, man. I feel like that was him kind of being like, hey, let's do something different. Let's draw some eyes. And kind of draw expression through eyes on a panel. Very cool stuff. This guy's clearly a sex addict. And then we go into a ladder match. And Tiger Mask is just doing a handstand on a ladder. I don't even know if he's at a ladder match. Maybe he's just practicing for a ladder match coming up. Feels very lived in. Like there's a lot of people there. It's very cool. Like very lively, I should say. Man, I love that forehead form there. Kaze is absolutely a master of drawing. There is no question about it. I mean, look at how much movement and gesture is going on this page. So much force in the attacks. Did he stab him with a fork? Guy was gonna stab him with a fork, and then Tiger Mask said, "Nah, I'm gonna stab you with a fork." You know, I look at this stuff to kind of just get inspiration, and wrestling comics are great for when you're trying to figure out how to make your stuff not so stiff. And you just kind of look at these bad boys, and you'll get there eventually. I think obviously he's inking his own stuff. Great inking work as well. Just man, I just love this panel too. There's so many great panels in this book, but we haven't gotten to my favorite panel in the book. I also love it that, you know, Tiger Mask has a very simplistic face when he's not wearing the mask. Because it's kind of like, yeah, this is like who he is in his daytime, but like when he's Tiger Mask, you know, he is Tiger Mask, you know. He's more Tiger Mask than he is this guy. This random guy on the street. So that lady was about to get drugged, and then Tiger Mask comes in without a Tiger Mask and beats the hell out of them. Saves her. This is my favorite panel in the book. When I saw this panel shown off, I was just like, man, I gotta get this book. He's literally dragging a motorcycle with his neck. And I believe he's doing this as training. That dude's got a neck of steel. You know, look at that too. What a great piece right there. See, that's the thing is like it's so easy when you get a comic book where there's so much stuff going on, so you can talk about it. But like I did a Batman issue that's probably going to come out either before or after this of Neil Adams, and it was just so there's just not a lot going on, so it's very hard to talk about. But this book, like manga, is like especially when it's stuff like this, it's like you can talk about anything on the page. Foreshortened hand, great movement, great speed lines, great inking. So much force in the kick of the groin. The movement of the muscles as it's getting punched. As the guy's getting punched. Just such cool stuff. And great storytelling too. Like, there is not a boring page in this book. I mean, I'm sure like when you go to the mundane stuff, it's a little bit more boring than this stuff is, but I mean, Kaze Shinobu doing a wrestling comic. How fucking cool is that? Look at that. He's like doing a one-armed handstand. Man, crazy. Maybe he's trying to get out of the hold. I can't tell what it is. Maybe he's locked up. I think it's because he's locked up. Very cool. Just like, and this isn't like what real wrestling looks like. So, but some of it is. It's just so cool. It's, man, really. This guy should be up there as one of the greats, for sure. One of these days I'm going to do my favorite artist list, and spoiler alert, Kaze is going to be definitely in that number 1 to 2 list. It's great stuff. Love that panel. Such a weird panel, but it's so cool. Great perspective. Like tilted perspective. Very difficult to do, but very, very cool. There's some mundane pieces here, but you know, you got to have that real life stuff going on outside of the ring. That's the other thing is everything is so clear. You're not missing anything. You know exactly what you're looking at. It's like he had in the mind of like, okay, people who are from other countries are going to read this stuff. You know, it's not just going to be in Japan. And sadly, it's only in Japanese. But it's like he thought to himself, maybe somebody will get their hands on it one day who's not living in Japan. And they can just look at the drawings and kind of get the story here. And it's so clear. And it's so beautifully done. There's a reason why, you know, manga artists are so good at what they do. A lot of people shit on it. I shit on it for the longest time. And it's because I was a fool and I didn't realize how brilliant storytellers these guys are. Like the best. And in a lot of ways they do it better than American comic book artists do it. I'm not a fan of every manga for sure. And most manga I'm not a fan of, but this guy, I've never seen this guy before. I don't know who he's supposed to be. He looks familiar, but I'm not sure. Brother. I bet that guy has a lot of nieces and nephews. Brother. Anyway, so this Hulk Hogan guy, that's the only thing I can read in Japanese. I don't know who that is. Never heard of him before. Is gonna fight Tiger Mask. And I guess Hulkamania is gonna run wild. I don't know if this was when Hulkamania was running wild, but it had to have been, because imagine being that famous that famous of a wrestler that like people in a different country know who you are. It's very cool. I mean, just great action. They're having a standoff here. It looks exactly like Hulkster too. It's slightly off, like a little bit off, maybe because he was like, I don't want to get sued. But yeah, ugh, what a great, like, I just love these panels where like you get like a single like arm or leg or body part that's just moving with speed lines for motion. And then we're back in the ring again with Tiger Mask. It's like Hulk knew he was Tiger Mask. How did he know that? Why is he in this book? I have no idea. Why are they at a funeral with a bunch of weirdos? That I don't know. That I need to read. But yeah, Tiger Mask is doing Tiger Mask stuff, just beating the fuck out of guys in the ring. Man, you can tell such a story with just some ropes, two guys, foreshortened, and speed lines. That's the other thing, is like if you just put a single piece. By the way, I love that anatomy. It's so cool. I just love. Oh man, I love anybody can draw great anatomy. But you could just take any of these pieces and put it up as like original art without it being in a book, and it would be. I would buy it, and I'm sure there's a ton of people that would buy it. And he did so much research. You can tell. Like that's so cool. Wrestling comics need to be way more common than they are. Like they need to be super common, because wrestling and comic books go together beautifully. Well, he's doing a pile driver. Hopefully, he doesn't break his neck. He's unmasking this guy. He's humiliating him. Can't speak. Just like I'm humiliating myself by not being able to speak. And he throws his mask out to the ground. Something tells me that Tiger Mask is going to pay for that, but I will never know, because I can't get volume 2, which really pisses me off because I wish I could. But that is Kaze Shinobu on Tiger Mask. If you are interested in Kaze Shinobu, if you can find it, just fucking Google search it. I know the last book I'm going to cover is much easier to get than this book and the previous book that I showed off, but thank you guys for watching, and hopefully, like I did from Japan Book Hunter, hopefully you found an artist that you're like, man, that guy's really cool. Like, that guy's a really great artist, and you go out and pick up his stuff. As hard as it is to get, and I feel like there's not a lot, but if you can get your hands on it, it's definitely worth it. So thank you guys for watching, and come back for part 3 of the Kaze Shinobu trilogy, the third and final part.